Hi everyone, I'm Jacob. I'm the CowHatLibrarian, and this is going to be a very odd video. About a year ago, I posted a video about the picture book Rock, where I went through my usual routine, where I showed off the book, read a few passages, discussed it and what I thought of the book, and everything seemed fine. Until last week. Last week, out of the blue, I received notice that there'd been a request to place a copyright strike on my channel. It was sent by Groundwood Books, the publisher of Rock, and they asked that I take the video down and delete it. There were a few other options given. In theory, I could wait until after the deadline and then appeal the strike with Google. And Google also suggested that I could reach out to the copyright holder. And in fact, that's what I did. I sent an email to them last week expressing my concern that these book talk and review videos I do, I believe, while I'm not a lawyer, I believe that they fall under the fair dealing provisions in Canadian copyright law that specifically make certain activities related to works not infringement, including review. And so I sent an email to Groundwood Books trying to explain that to them and asking that they clarify their rationale for requesting a copyright strike. And as of today, just about a week later and coming up on the deadline to pull down my video, I haven't heard a word from them. I'm incredibly unhappy about this. While I am not a lawyer, it seems very, very clear to me that I am allowed to review content and that I am allowed to use enough of that content to give the people I'm reviewing it for a clear idea of what to expect, that I should be able to read short portions of the book, that I should be able to show pictures of the illustrations in the context of the review. But apparently Groundwood doesn't feel that way. And well, I firmly believe that if this were to go to an actual court where the burden of proof is on them, that it would be thrown out very, very quickly. The reality is I do this as a hobby. I'm not making money from this. I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars on lawyers to make a point. I could try to appeal with Google, but the reality is, who are they going to stick up for? The person who has 100 some odd followers and has likely made them next to no money when you figure in the costs of actually hosting my videos? Or a publisher that could potentially be an advertiser someday? The reality is that I don't have a good way to appeal this decision. So I'm pulling the video down, at least in its original form. Following this little statement, I have a much edited version of my review on Rock, where I've removed anything that could conceivably be considered as somehow violating Groundwood Books' copyright. I hope you enjoy it. Much like Charlie Brown, I got a rock. Hi everyone, I'm Jacob. I'm the CowHatLibrarian, and this was one I stumbled onto at my local library and gave it a try, and I was quite happy with it. It is Rock by Laurel Croza and Matt James. As the story starts, a seagull is intrigued by a rock. Tries to bite the rock, presumably thinking it's food, and starts getting mad at the rock. And the rock replies. And this sets up the seagull to berate the rock. this seagull just keeps going on, and in response, the rock just says, and the seagull keeps up this particular brand of nonsense, including trying to diminish the rock by saying, until a child runs by and frightens the seagull away and takes a minute with that rock and makes something beautiful with it. I liked it. The story about being true to yourself is something that's a common theme in children's books. This one is told quite well. The comments made by Seagull are very, very true to the kinds of statements that people use to belittle others. The implication at the end that, hey, even if you're true to yourself, you can be a part of something bigger is a nice thought. And I don't think it leans as heavily on the if you're useful, you have value trope that so many of these kinds of books fall into. And so I like that as well. The artwork was lots of fun. I really, really like this illustration style. You can practically feel the movement of the seagull through the air combined with the just sort of stubbornness of the rock. That illustration, you get the sense that that rock isn't moving. It never moved. It's not going to move unless it chooses to move, and it chooses not to. It's really, really well done. The words, the text of the book are similarly well done. As I said, the insults are first rate. They're the exact sort of thing people say, but it's also written in a really, really clipped form that makes it very, very effective, and also very, very easy for early readers. Short clipped sentences, nothing long, nothing meandering. There's just one little sentence per line in the text, which makes it very, very easy to read and digest, and even to perform, to read aloud to others. And so, yeah, I quite enjoyed this. I read it to my two daughters. They thought it was good. Well, it worked good as a read-along for my two kids, and it would work well for one-on-one sharing. I also feel like it would work really, really good in a storytime setting, especially if you paired it with another rock-type book that had a very, very different tone. I might be tempted to pair it with something like The Rock That Fell from the Sky by John Clausen, just for something completely different in tone. And yeah, I liked it. I recommend it. Go borrow it from your public library. While I'm on that topic, if you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library, why not take just 1 minute and tell the powers that be exactly that? Tell your mayor, tell a council member, tell your MP or MLA that you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library. We're at a time where some public libraries are having trouble finding sustainable funding to continue improving the materials, programs, and services they offer, and a few good words in the right ears might make a world of difference. If by some chance you're a library staff member, don't forget, watching my videos counts as professional development time. With that, thanks for listening to me go on and on about how rock solid this book is. By all means, please like, please subscribe, and please check back and see what else I have to talk about from the CowHat Library. Thank you. Bye now.